The sun hung low across the quiet little town of Maplebrook, painting the old houses and wide fields in a soft golden glow. Children played on dusty roads, shopkeepers swept their porches, and gossip fluttered through the breeze like moths drawn to flame. Maplebrook was peaceful, but it was also a place where rumors lived longer than memories. As the screen fades in, a warm and inviting voice begins to speak. Welcome back to the channel, dear listeners. Today, we have a story that tugs at hearts, rattles old beliefs, and reminds us of the power of innocence. So sit back, relax, and let me take you into a world where love is found in the most unexpected places. Our story begins with a man named Daniel Turner, a gentle widower in his early 40s. Daniel was known for his kindness, his patience, and his two wonderful 8-year-old twin daughters, Lily and Lucy. Since his wife Clara passed away 3 years earlier, Daniel's entire world revolved around those two little girls. They were his joy, his light, and sometimes, his reason to breathe. Every Saturday, Daniel took Lily and Lucy into town. They would visit the bakery, laugh at silly jokes, and stop by the local adoption fair hosted at the community center. But unlike other towns, Maplebrook's fair wasn't about pets. It was about people, orphans of all ages who had lost families, hoping for a miracle, a new home. You see, Daniel wasn't looking for someone to replace his wife. No soul could fill Clara's shoes. But he knew something. His twins missed having a mother's embrace. They never spoke much about it, but sometimes, at night, Daniel heard quiet tears from their shared bedroom. So, slowly, carefully, he entertained the idea of adopting someone who could bring warmth into their lives. Among the volunteers at the center worked a woman named Martha Willow. Martha was kind, soft-spoken, and carried a gentle smile that always reached her eyes. But behind that smile was a life burdened by whispers. People in Maplebrook whispered that Martha was too wide to wed. Her body was fuller, curvier than those around her. She wore dresses that fluttered softly around her, and her laugh echoed like music. Yet despite her kind nature, the town judged her shape rather than her soul. Each week, children flocked around Martha, drawn to her nurturing presence. She read stories, tied shoelaces, and bandaged scraped knees. But adults often smirked when she walked by, murmuring behind hands. "She'll never marry," they'd say. "Who would want someone like her?" It was cruel, childish gossip, spoken by grown people who should have known better. One Saturday afternoon, as Daniel stood near the adoption desk reviewing papers, Lily tugged at his sleeve. "Daddy," she whispered excitedly, "we found her." Lucy grabbed the other side of his shirt. "Yes, Daddy, this one. We want this one." Daniel blinked. "Found who?" The twins pointed. Standing at the far end of the room, wiping tears from a younger boy's face, was Martha. Her dark hair was pinned behind her ears, and her hands were gentle as she comforted the crying child. Her dress wrapped softly around her hips, her arms soft yet strong. She looked up and caught Daniel's gaze. She smiled shyly, then returned to her task. The twins ran to her, wrapping their tiny arms around her legs. Martha laughed, surprised but delighted. "Oh, hello there, sweethearts. You two again." Daniel approached, slightly embarrassed. "Martha," he said, "thank you, for always looking after them." She blushed. "It's nothing. They're wonderful girls." Lily looked up, eyes glowing. "Daddy, we want her. Can we have this, Mommy?" Martha froze. Her smile faltered. The room fell silent, and nearby whispers hissed instantly. "Oh, her, too wide. He wouldn't dare." Daniel's face flushed with heat. "Girls," he murmured, "this isn't how it works." But Lily stomped her foot. She hugged Martha's waist. "We choose her." Lucy nodded solemnly. "She's perfect." Martha knelt, eye level with the twins. "You two are very sweet, but..." Daniel interrupted gently. "I'm so sorry. They've been emotional lately." But something unexpected happened. Martha's eyes filled with tears. Not of sadness, of shock. Of hope. You see, no one had ever chosen Martha. Not for love, not for friendship, not even for kindness beyond surface greetings. Later that evening, Daniel tucked the twins into bed. They held hands, eyes serious. "Daddy," Lily whispered, "Mommy Clara always wanted us to be loved. We felt something today." Daniel's breath caught. Children felt things adults ignored. The next week, at the adoption center, Daniel approached Martha. "I'd like to talk," he said softly. Outside, they sat beneath a maple tree. Leaves fluttered overhead, painting patterns across Martha's face. She looked nervous. "Daniel, listen, the girls don't understand. I'm not what towns like this accept." Daniel frowned. "Accept? Martha, you're kind, patient, warm. Do you even know how many people you help?" She looked down at her hands. "They whisper, Daniel. They say I'm too wide to wed." Daniel's heart clenched. He looked at her, not at her body, but at the woman inside. "Martha," he began, "my Clara, God bless her, she taught me one thing. Love isn't measured by waistlines. It's measured by heartlines." Martha looked up, eyes shimmering. "But the town, let them whisper," Daniel replied. "Let them choke on their own bitterness, because I'd rather listen to my daughter's laughter, and your kindness, than their empty words." His voice trembled slightly at the vulnerability of the moment. "Martha, would you consider dinner with us? Just dinner." Martha's smile returned, shy and beautiful. "I'd like that." Soon, dinner became picnics. Picnics became long conversations beneath starlight. And slowly, gently, Daniel found himself laughing again. The twins adored Martha. She braided their hair, baked muffins with them, and tucked blankets around them on cool evenings. They never called her Miss Martha. They called her Mama Willow. But the town didn't rest. Whispers grew louder. "Did you hear? Daniel's with that big woman. He's desperate. Poor man." One afternoon, the twins overheard a group of women at the market. "Your new mother will break chairs, dear. Better hope she doesn't sit on you." The twins stiffened. Lily stepped forward, fists trembling. "That's mean." Lucy followed. "She's beautiful." The women scoffed, muttering insults as they walked away. That night, Lily cried quietly. "Daddy, why are they so mean to Mama Willow?" Daniel hugged her. "Because some hearts are small, sweetheart. But even strong hearts can break." And soon, Martha's heart cracked beneath pressure. She stopped coming by. She stopped answering calls. The twins panicked. "Daddy, did we do something wrong?" Daniel, confused and hurt, went to her home. Martha lived in a small cottage on the edge of town. When she opened the door, her eyes were swollen from crying. "Martha, what happened?" he asked. "I can't do this, Daniel. I heard them. They laughed. They said you were only with me because you couldn't do better. I won't drag you, or your daughters, through this swamp of cruelty." "I'm sorry." She tried to close the door. Daniel placed his hand on it gently. "Martha, wait." She shook her head, tears falling. "Just go, please." Daniel left, heart aching. Days passed. The girls refused to eat. They wouldn't smile. They clutched drawings of themselves with Martha, signed Mama Willow and Us Forever. Finally, the annual Maplebrook Festival arrived. Town square lit with dancing lanterns, music, and food stands. And, yet, Daniel's family stood quiet, heavy with sadness. Then, without warning, Lily and Lucy broke free from his hands and ran through the crowd shouting Mama Willow. Mama Willow. Martha, dressed simply, stood near the stage helping children paint pumpkins. When the twins collided into her legs, she gasped. The girls cried into her dress. "Don't leave us again. Please come home." The crowd fell silent. Dozens watched. Daniel approached, his voice steady but loud enough for all to hear. "Martha Willow, I don't care what they whisper. I don't care about narrow minds or cruel tongues. What you have given my daughters is priceless. And what you've given me, hope." He dropped to one knee, not with a ring, but with his heart wide open. "Martha Willow, will you join this family? Not to replace Clara, but to stand beside us. To love and be loved." The crowd gasped. Some frowned, others softened. Martha sobbed. "I'm scared, Daniel." The twins hugged her tighter. "We're not." Daniel smiled gently. Martha, love isn't about fitting into someone else's mold. It's about building a shape together. She nodded slowly. Yes, yes, I'd love to. The crowd erupted, not into whispers, but cheers. Even the coldest hearts melted a little that night. Months passed. Daniel and Martha married in a simple ceremony beneath the maple tree. The twins scattered petals, beaming. Martha walked not in fear, but in pride, wearing a dress that celebrated her curves and grace. She was radiant. Over time, the whispers faded. People noticed how truly happy Daniel looked, how adored the twins felt, and how Martha's kindness kept rippling outward. She volunteered, baked for neighbors, and listened when others were hurting. Suddenly, being wide wasn't a flaw. It was seen as warm, inviting, human. Years later, as Martha rocked her newborn son on the porch, Daniel wrapped his arm around her waist. The twins sat at her feet, telling stories. Martha smiled softly. I never thought I'd be chosen. Daniel pressed a kiss to her temple. You were never chosen by chance, Martha. You were chosen by hearts that saw what mattered most. And indeed, that was the legacy Maplebrook would tell for generations. That sometimes, it takes children, tiny, innocent hearts, to reveal the true shape of love. As the screen slowly fades, the narrator speaks once more. Thank you for watching this story. If it touched you, leave a comment, share your thoughts, and remember, love isn't measured by appearance, but by the kindness we sow in the hearts we hold. And just before darkness fades in fully, we hear Lily's fading giggle, we wanted this one, Daddy. And we were right.